Yeah, like what Bay asked about, like how do you actually figure out what like a contractor or agency to work with? Of course, you can ask for referrals and like case studies, um, and you can do test projects. I'm curious on like what are some pitfalls or mistakes you should pay attention to when working with agencies and contractors. Any other pointers in choosing the right agency or contractor to work with?
Yeah, so for me, it's very, if you're talking content in particular, it's very clear. Like they have to be able to articulate how their previous content work connects to business value, right? There's a lot of people who can do great content that's beautiful and it doesn't move the needle for the business in any way. It's good. It's what I call like portfolio marketers. Like they're great and they're probably want to do, content for a living. They probably want to make movies or something, and that's good. That's good. But you need to choose someone who has demonstrated that they can tie their content to business value over a certain period of time. Like things take a long time. It's not as simple as this content, what one content in leads to X dollars out all the time. But that's number one. They need to be able to make that case to you clearly and easily. Number two is the quality and caliber of the content, which is more subjective. So that is one where it's kind of a vibe with you. So if you know that they can drive business value and you as either the founder or the executive, then it's like, is this what we want for our brand, the type of content? And then if it's seed stage early, like, maybe they don't give a shit about brand, but eventually you will start to care about that because that also starts to drive business value from there. And then the third one, if we're talking about sort of SEO in general, beware of people who overpromise. If anyone can guarantee you that they'll get you ranked number one for certain keywords, just walk away. It's not really possible. And if they could do it, they would not be agents. They would not have an agency. They would be retired on a beach somewhere because that is some of the most valuable real estate in the digital world. So
One challenge I run into is a lot of the SEO agencies, they were great in the first 6 months.
yeah.
And then sort of the value started to slow down and either the team change or like maybe the tactics get old. Like, have you seen that in places and how do you avoid that?
Yeah, it is a challenge. So in an ideal world, if you have in-house, then they're more incentivized to be with the business and continue to grow and adapt to the ever-changing SEO world. And it has changed a lot. It has changed more in the last 3 years than it probably did in the last 10 years before that. So, a lot of these agencies by definition, or not by definition, but typically like they have their package. They have the things they do. They're good at getting clients. They do it. It potentially works, but a lot of them are not super incentivized to then continue to improve their skills or build upon their playbook. So I think in-house is my preference, but I understand that that is not always available. And so it is just keeping a hard, making sure that your agency is working hard, very civilly, but they're the experts. Let them run their initial playbook, have that work, and then it's keeping on them quarter after quarter. Okay, what's next? Like, how are we adjusting to these updates here? So I'm sure y'all search and you see all the AI updates now. It's like, what is your strategy on there? Most good agencies will have that in the pitch nowadays, but then what happens in 2 quarters from now when there's other updates? So if it's just like any agency, if you let them coast, they will coast. So it's incumbent upon you to like ensure that they are continuing to push because they, quite frankly, they have to. It is continually changing. The old playbooks kind of work right now, but to your point, Holly, they work for a limited amount of time and then an algo change happens. And it's like, okay, what are you gonna do now? And like a lot of them just don't have a great answer for that.
Yeah.